Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Reject Films. I got a couple of films here from Wild Eye Releasing. They sent me a nice box of movies. If you guys watched my unboxing for that, and just gonna be doing a couple at a time. Probably finish up with 3 in the last video. So they sent me 7 films, and just watching the ones that look most interesting first, and going from there, I guess. So yeah, just. First one I watched here was Bonejangles. I think in the video I was saying Bojangles. I don't know why, but it is Bonejangles. And this one, I was just at Walmart the other day, and this one was still in like the newer section where they put all the straight-to-video horror films and everything. So this one is still available. It's like $10. You might be even able to find it cheaper than that, but this is the one I was most interested in watching out of all the ones they sent me. So, yeah, it did not disappoint. I will say that. I stayed entertained the whole time, and it's definitely one of those films that is self-aware. It knows it doesn't take itself serious and everything, which I love those kind of movies. I hate movies that are their intent is to be serious, but it's just so bad that it's good. I don't know. Like this one, like I say, they're self-aware. They know it's out there and it's not to be taken seriously. But if you go in thinking this is a serious horror film, then you're going to be sadly disappointed. I saw reviews on IMDb and stuff saying, I don't know what I just watched. This was terrible, blah, blah. Yeah, it is terrible, but in a good way. And like I say, I just had tons of fun with it from start to finish, and definitely one of the better straight-to-video movies I've seen in a while, which I try to steer away from those as much as possible, but I had seen a couple things from this company, so I wanted to reach out to them and see, what all kind of movies they had and everything. So anyway, nobody in this movie that I recognized from anything or, names that I know. But pretty much the story of this is, you start out with Bonejangles killing this janitor or whatever he is, and really gruesome kill scene there. And he kind of like takes one of his bones from his stomach and puts it on his hip area where he collects these bones. And that's really the only time you see him like collecting the bones in this film. And kind of like does a little pad on it. It was kind of funny. I don't know if you guys have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But starts out with that, and the cops go to capture him in this. I want to say like a warehouse, like boiler room area or something. I don't know. And even the cops know that he's unkillable and everything. The only thing you kind of do to him is use your tasers on him and stun him long enough to transport him somewhere. They know he's like inhuman and everything, and you do get flashbacks to kind of when his father was alive, and his father's like this well-known serial killer as well, and gives you a little bit of backstory on him. Not a whole lot, but pretty much all the scenes that flash back to that is his father telling him to protect his private area and not do anything with it, sexually or whatever. So yeah, the two main cops in this, they're like just about useless as it gets. One of them's like this virgin that the other one always gives a hard time to and everything, and actually I think they both are at this point. But anyway, they don't take themselves serious at all, and they're kind of not real cops. They're just you guys just have to see it to understand what I'm trying to say. But yeah. So anyway, they capture Bonejangles by using the tasers and everything, and they're transporting him to be held or whatever. And during this process, they're taking him back to the cops, one of the cops' hometown. And he kind of doesn't want to go back to his hometown and there's something that he's not telling them about this town and everything, that he doesn't want to go back. What the reason is, but you come to find out that the town has been cursed. That every what is it, April? I wrote it down. I can't remember. April 18th. Every year on April 18th, the dead come back to life. It was a curse that was put on the town by this witch that they set fire to, and everybody that was involved with it and everything, her burning, would be rose from the grave and everything on that certain day and wreak havoc on the town. So during the process of transferring him over there, all this happens, and Bonejangles escapes, and so he's going around the town too, and he's killing a couple groups of campers. Again, some decent kill scenes there with the campers and everything, and the one group of campers, he had like this guy playing guitar and singing this like stupid song about Bonejangles, and like none of it even like rhymed together. I don't know. It was kind of just weird, but yeah, some good kill scenes in there, and so they finally figure out that the person that the witch that they burnt and everything is actually a succubus as well, and she's been holding this one guy's nephew like hostage and everything, using him to feed her energy and everything for all these years, and she's kind of looking for a new one, which one of the cops becomes her new, she wants as her new toy or whatever, to get her power from. And there's also a scene in here where at a certain point Bonejangles starts taking out the zombies, and he's got like dual machetes and stuff, and I really dug the makeup too on him. Like, I think it's just it's like a mask and everything. I mean, it's an obvious mask, but it was cool looking, and definitely different than what you're used to seeing. He's got like an extra set of teeth up above his mouth and stuff, like from his victims' bones and stuff, and so I really dug that, and definitely a killer that stands out. He wasn't just some guy with like a hoodie on and going around killing people or something. So anyway, yeah, their main plan is to use Bonejangles, with him being undead and superhuman and everything like that and unkillable, to take out the succubus. And during all this too, you have like kind of a love story between one of the cops and this girl from his hometown and everything, and this guy that's getting ready to marry her, who was like the savior of the town a long time ago, like 10 years ago, when the zombie curse like first started or something. And he's just like a real douchebag and always giving the one cop shit and everything like that. But you do have that like side story going on as well. But your main story, like I say, they're trying to use Bonejangles to take out the succubus, and they're not really thinking about what if she lures him into becoming one of her sex toys or whatever to draw power from. That could turn into something really bad. But they're at the end of the film. I'm not going to tell you guys if that happens or if he takes her out. But, I will say that end scene with an explosion was like the most generic explosion I've ever seen in my life. But it worked for this film, because this film, like I say, doesn't take itself serious. So, yeah, that's pretty much the sum of this movie. That's pretty much the synopsis of it. But, so you do get some flashback scenes with him and his father and everything like that. You can tell he had like a messed up childhood and everything. And I will say, for being a straight to video low budget horror film, the special effects were not too bad, really. Besides that end explosion. But yeah, I definitely recommend checking this one out, guys. If you're at Walmart, you see it for like $10, definitely grab it. I mean, I normally wouldn't say that about a lot of these films, but this one was actually pretty good. I wish it had a Blu-ray release for sure, and I can definitely see them making another one. And this one was released in 2017 is when this one came out. So I think most of these are 2017 and 2018 releases. So yeah, Bonejangles. Definitely, like I say, worth a watch, man. If you guys like cheesy, over the top horror films, and they're self aware and know that they're bad and everything, this one's definitely entertaining. Like, I was never bored with this movie. So the next one up that I'm going to watch is House of Salem. So we'll cut to that review. So. Alright guys, just finished watching House of Salem. I was really looking forward to checking this one out, and I mean, overall it was pretty decent. Not great by any means, but not terrible. Definitely recommend picking this one up if you guys find it cheap enough. I would say like $5 or less. Not as good as Bonejangles was, but kind of a long movie too. I think it was like maybe not. It was like an hour and 40 minutes. It seemed longer than that though. A lot of dialogue and stuff in here. But yeah, pretty much starts out with a kid named Josh who's having like these nightmares and stuff, and he's at home with his babysitter, and then people break in and take Josh and leave the babysitter alive, and then who you think is his parents come home, find her, they end up killing her. So you're like, what the hell is going on? So I'm like right off the bat thinking, okay, well, they're part of this whole plot here. And then they end up taking him to this house, the House of Salem, and you see like a brief glimpse of like the guy who was in charge of the whole heist or whatever, and then it just cuts back to the main kidnappers and everything. You have the guy in charge of the kidnapping group, Jacob, and his daughter Nancy, and another guy, Jack, are like your three main people in this as far as the kidnappers are concerned. And from there it just gets really weird, and the kid Josh is seeing dead kids and stuff like that. You find out later on that the people weren't his parents. They were I believe his aunt and uncle, and his parents were killed in a fire along with his brother and stuff like this a while back. And Nancy ends up finding a scar on his back in the shape of like an eye with a 1 in it, and you see that symbol throughout the house as well. There's a point where I think it was Jack that finds a chest full of VHS tapes, and the chest has like the eye with the 1 on it and everything like that. And you see that symbol throughout the movie. It's the symbol of the cult that's after these children. But you have a lot of back and forth between the kidnappers as well. There's a point where one of them goes to get a vehicle to be able to leave this house, and he ends up coming back in a bag, dead, with the symbol on his stomach and chest and everything like that, and some writing on the window. I forget what it said, something about Satan wants to play or something like that. But a lot of creepy elements, but the way it was shot, it just didn't have that vibe because it was so low budget. The acting overall was really well done, but like the action scenes were pretty bad. But I did like the Jacob character a lot, like the way he talked and everything, and he was a really good actor. But yeah, so later on, the people show up that are in this cult, start showing up outside, then invade the house and everything, and they're trying to get Nancy to join them and draw the blood from Josh to like sacrifice or whatever. Before this, they actually watch some of the tapes too, and see the kids being sacrificed and everything. Trying not to give everything away, but she kind of turns on them, or not turns on them, but doesn't want to be involved with it. But Jack joins up with them, and then turns on them and takes one of them out and everything. And during this whole seance of trying to get the blood from Josh, there's these dead children around this table, and they're awoken by the blood that spills out of the chick that Jack takes out. And I'm not going to tell you what happens after that because I don't want to ruin the whole, ending of the movie for you guys. But yeah, I mean, had this had a higher budget, it probably would have been really creepy and everything like that. But just the way that it was shot, and like the audio wasn't very great. I had to turn it up louder than usual to hear anything, and like the few gunshots that are in it and everything were kind of, didn't sound real and everything. But I mean, for being a low budget film, it was pretty decent. I like the storyline of it and everything, but I just expected it to be better. I guess this is like a British horror film as well. But like I say, I seen this at Family Video for like $5. So if you guys see it up there, I say it's definitely worth that price. But I wouldn't pay probably full price for it or whatever. But definitely worth a watch for sure. And I think if this director has a bigger budget and everything, they could definitely do a lot more with their films. So yeah, what am I missing? There is a point too where Jacob, the leader of this kidnapping group, he kind of turns on them as well, and he's in cahoots with the cult members, but they no longer need his services, so he kind of gets what he deserves along the way as well. But yeah, like I say, I mean, the dialogue was really good. The acting was actually pretty decent and everything. It's just you could tell they definitely didn't have enough money to do what they truly wanted to do, like visually and with the audio and everything like that. But they definitely made an attempt at this, and I'm not gonna say it was terrible, but it wasn't, like I say, great by any means. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. I didn't have as much fun with it as I had hoped, but it definitely took itself more serious than anything. And I mean, the makeup effects were, low budget makeup effects, but I mean, you could definitely tell on some of the kids and stuff like that, and one of the cult members, it was, kind of iffy. But they do always wear like these masks and stuff when they're being sacrificed, and yeah, there's times where they're locked in these boxes, and you see like glimpses of these dead children in there with them, which, like I say, would have been really creepy, but it's just the way the movie was shot, it just didn't give that vibe. I don't know. Had it been higher budget, it would have been like Insidious or Conjuring style, like ghost, like, I don't know, like creepiness. But yeah, like I say, overall, definitely worth a watch. Probably 5 out of 10. If you guys are looking for something a little bit different, and you guys are into like cult seance type films, or not really seance, but sacrifices and stuff like that, and you guys are into British horror films, definitely give it a watch. But yeah, so that's it for House of Salem. And thank you guys for checking out these reviews, and I will be doing 2 more after this. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to watch yet next, but definitely look forward to checking out what else this company has released. So, and this was a 2018 release for the DVD here, so still fairly new. Like I say, it was on the new release wall still at the video store. So yeah, until next time. Take care. See you guys. Bye.